FM.
Always first.
Ensemble on fait le show. On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis, c'est bien faire la folie. On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis. Oh, 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 oh.
It's a tentative start for everybody, but Hamilton gets away well, as does Bottas. Oh, wait, what a play! Oh, wow! Salah, oh, wow! Oh, that is beyond special!
Total Sport on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM, the sport headquarters in Southwest Nigeria.
It's lights out and away we go. It's a tentative start for everybody, but Hamilton gets away well, as does Bottas. Oh, wait, what a play! Oh, wow! Salah, oh, wow! Oh, that is beyond special!
Total Sport on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM, the sport headquarters in Southwest Nigeria.
Alright, it's time again to talk sport on Impact's Business Radio 92.5 FM. It's Total Sport, the Sport Tonic on radio. Time to start with all of the news going around in the world of sports, and as well talk about the games to expect in Europe, English Premier League, Spanish La Liga, the Italian Serie A, and of course the German Bundesliga. We'll be talking about all of those games on the program this afternoon. Remember yesterday the provisional team list for the Nigeria vs Ghana game was released yesterday by the coach Augustine Guavon, and we saw some big inclusion and some massive omission yesterday. We'll be talking about the list today because the players that are speaking did spoke after that list was released yesterday. Even Odionju Digalo also spoke after the list was released yesterday. So we'll be talking about that this afternoon on the program. Total Sports on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. The National Basketball Association games played at the early hours of today. Philadelphia 76ers, they won their own game this morning against the Cleveland Cavs, 125-119. It ended in favor of the Sixers. The Atlanta Hawks also defeated the Washington Wizards. We'll be giving you the update from the NBA this afternoon on AM Sports, on Total Sport rather, on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. Also be taking reaction from some of the coaches ahead of various games. Once again, welcome to Total Sport this afternoon. Just to let you know, you can be a big part of the program. When the time is right, the studio lines will be open, so you can call in and be a big part of the program. Okay, you can actually push down the studio lines right now: 0815-192-5925, 0815-192-5925, or 0902 280-9257, 0902-280-9257. You can as well call 0916-104-7698 and 0811-052-6487. Those are the lines to reach out to the live studios. When the time is right, the studio lines will be open officially. So welcome once again to Total Sport on Ibr92.5 FM. I am Kenny Bamidele. I've got the guys right here with me in the live studios ready to take a microscopic look into some of those stories we're talking about this afternoon. Okay, I've got Bumi Akamo making a big return this afternoon. Good afternoon, Bumi.
Good afternoon, Kenny. Good afternoon, listeners at home. It's nice to be here. All attention is on the matches taking place tomorrow. I'm happy and I know you will enjoy today's package.
Alright, that's the voice of Bumi. Mubarak is also right here with me. Mubarak, how you doing?
Good afternoon, Nigerians. It's nice to be here again to make my own impact on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. It's very nice to be here again today.
Alright, let's start from the NBA this afternoon and talk about the games played this morning. Cameron Johnson capped a best game of his career by hitting a long three-pointer as time expired this morning to complete Phoenix Suns' 14-point fourth quarter comeback as they host the New York Knicks, and they defeated them 115-114. That's just a point separating these two sides, and it was New York Knicks who came out on top in that one. The New York Knicks was up by 2 with 7.1 seconds remaining when Alec Burks hit his free throw but missed badly on the second. Phoenix grabbed the rebound and walked the ball up to the top to Johnson, who capped his career high 38-point night when his 31-foot bank shot went in, setting up the pandemonium. Cameron Payne finished with 17 points and a career high 16 assists for the Suns, who were without Chris Paul, suffering from a broken thumb, and Devin Booker out due to COVID protocol. The Knicks, who dropped their 7th straight game, lost Julius Randle to a third quarter ejection after a skirmish with Johnson, the New York Knicks power forward, who had a team high 25 points, shoved aside an official and pushed Johnson. Maybe if Julius Randle was in that game till the end, that would have been a victory for the New York Knicks. Alright, another game played featured the Milwaukee Bucks and the Chicago Bulls. Giannis Antetokounmpo recorded his 6th consecutive double-double as the Bucks beat Chicago Bulls for the 3rd win in a row. The two-time MVP poured in a game-high 34 points, 16 rebounds and 5 assists, while Drew Holiday added 26 points, 8 rebounds, and Chris Middleton notched 22 points for the Bucks. Zach LaVine pays the Bulls with 30 points, 8 rebounds and 6 assists, while DeMar DeRozan tallied with a 9 points and Nikola Vucevic supplied 19 with 9 rebounds. As well, talking about the game between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers, of course, Pistons came out on top in that one, beating Pacers 111 to 106. And Sadiq Bey had 25 points, Kate Cunningham contributed 20 points and 9 rebounds, and Detroit Pistons rallied past visiting Indiana. Down by 6 with 2.55 to play, the Pistons finished the game on a 12-1 run to win for the 5th time in 7 games. Detroit, Marvin Bagley, the third, supplied 18 points and 8 rebounds, while Isaiah Stewart added 8 points and 13 rebounds. Malcolm Brogdon, 26 points, led the Pacers, who have alternated losses and wins over the past 7 games. Utah Jazz suffered in the hands of the New Orleans Pelicans and 124 to 90, and Brandon Ingram scored 29 points for New Orleans as they dominated Utah from the beginning to the end to claim his 4th consecutive victory. Donovan Mitchell scored 14 points, while Hassan Whiteside had 13 points for the Jazz, but that couldn't even help them beat the New Orleans Pelicans this morning. The Philadelphia 76ers also enjoyed a very tough win against the Cleveland Cavs. And James Harden, one man who is really hard to stop him right now, very hard to stop. He's been in a very good form since he joined the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey scored 33 points, while James Harden added 25 points and 11 assists as all Sixers defeated the Cleveland Cavs. Sixers improved to 4-0 with Harden in the lineup and won their 5th in a row. Joel Embiid had 22 points and 9 rebounds, while Georges Niang has scored 17 points off the bench. Tobias Harris contributed 15 for the Sixers in that win. Atlanta Hawks also came out on top against the Washington Wizards. DeAndre Hunter matched a season-high 26 points, and Trae Young scored 25 points to lead Atlanta Hawks past the host, the Washington Wizards. Atlanta stretched its lead over Washington for one of its final playoff spots to the 1-2 games, and Washington cut Atlanta's lead from 11 with about 5 minutes left to 1 point when Raul Neto made a 3-pointer with 5.9 seconds left. Trae Young made 2 free throws, but Kai Kuzma missed a desperation for the 7-foot 3-pointer that could have earned the Wizards that shocking draw and taking the game to overtime. Washington Kentavious Caldwell Pope scored 28 points and was 6 of 6 from the threes. Kai Kuzma added 22 points and 11 assists as Rui Akimura added 19 points for the Wizards. Orlando Magic also defeated the Toronto Raptors 103-97. Cole Anthony had 15 points and 12 rebounds, 5 assists, while Orlando ended a 9-game losing streak to host Toronto. And Jalen Suggs also scored 15 points, and Mo Bamba added 14 for Orlando, who had 7 players score in double figures. Orlando has won 3 of its last 4 games overall. Pascal Siakam had 34 points and 14 rebounds for the Raptors, who have lost 2 in a row, while Malachi Flynn added 20 points and Precious Achua, that's a Nigerian, dropped 11 points for the Raptors. Timberwolves defeated Oklahoma City Thunder 138-101, and Karl Anthony Towns and Naz Reid scored 20 points each to lead the Wolves past Oklahoma City Thunder this morning. Denver Nuggets also enjoyed a big win against Houston Rockets, and it ended 116-101. DeMarcus Cousins produced a season-high 31 points and grabbed 9 rebounds as host Denver sent Houston to its 12th consecutive loss. Can you beat that? Jeff Green and JaMychal Green scored 14 points each for Denver, who played without winning MVP Nikola Jokic due to non COVID illness. The Nuggets won for the 7th in 8 games. Will Barton scored 11 points, including 2 3-pointers. His second trade gave him 769 in his Denver career, passing J.R. Smith in 768 for the franchise record. But that's out from the National Basketball Association. Let's move on. The Studio Sport on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. In case you are just joining, we'll just read out the result of games played in the NBA this morning. Right now, we have to move and talk about the story concerning the Super Eagles of Nigeria. As the technical advisor, I'm talking about Augustine Guavon, released a provisional list for that double header against the Ghanaians, Black Stars of Ghana, building up to the World Cup, the playoff of the World Cup. And we are praying as Nigerians that we come out on top against our fellow West African giant, that's the Ghanaian national team, the Black Stars of Ghana, they call them. Let's talk about that. It's Total Sport on Ibr92.5 FM.
animé par un seul but. Aujourd'hui la joie est reine et ça n'est que le début. Levez les drapeaux, chantez fort et haut. Nous sommes tous les mêmes. Ambiance assurée, tous là pour s'enjailler, tous là pour gagner.
The coach of Super Eagles of Nigeria, Augustine Guavon, has included Ademola Lookman, Johnny Gallo, and Dennis Emmanuel Bonaventure in the team's 32-man provisional list for the World Cup qualification playoff against Ghana later this month. The list was announced in a statement released by the Nigeria Football Federation yesterday, and Lookman got the nod and will be on track to make a debut for the Super Eagles after FIFA recently cleared him to switch international allegiance from England to Nigeria. Another newcomer is Akinkumi Amao, who currently plays for FC Copenhagen. He joined from Amabe. It's good to see him in the list there. Igalo and Dennis returned to Eagles following their failure to join the team at the African Cup of Nations in Cameroon, despite being included in the final list. Ahmed Musa, William Trus Ekong, Wilfred Ndidi, Jose Simon, and Kelechi Enaton were invited for the all-important clash against the Black Stars of Ghana. The team's camp is built to open on the 21st of March this month, while a final 24-man roster will be released at a later date. Before we go into the full list of the invited players, let me speak with Bumi this afternoon. Bumi, let's talk about what the coach Augustine Guavon did. He dropped Alex Iwobi, and guys like Ojoni Gallo, part of the list. What do you think about what was he thinking dropping Iwobi? Could it be the fact that Iwobi has not been impressive for some games now with the Super Eagles?
Yeah, looking at it holistically, I think the coach, to me, based on me, I think the coach it's not fair on Iwobi, because including Akikumi Amao in the match that is like a final, like you are going for a final, and you need someone that you need players that have been gelled together, that they've been together, they play together, they know how to do it within themselves. So to me, omitting Alex Iwobi is not something that is fair to me, and because he needs something like a ball juggler at the midfield because
But
we
you know,
know Joel Aribo.
one of the issues that Super Eagles has had is the fact that we lack creativity in the middle of the park, and it will be just one player who we expect a lot from him when it comes to creativity. Don't you think that he's not delivering? That's one of the reasons why the coach decided to drop him.
Yeah, although based on the form of Iwobi now, you can see it's not that so. It's on and off. So, but we need a plan B. We know that Joel Aribo is doing the creativity, is doing the creative work in the midfield. We can see that at the just concluded AFCON, but we need plan B. And what of if something should happen to Joel Aribo? Who else among the squad list that will be like a ball juggler, that will be a creative midfielder there? There's no one. And looking at Etebo has not played a single game for Watford this season. He's still coming from injury, and I don't even the inclusion of Etebo to me is questionable, because you see Etebo blocking for, you see Ndidi blocking for. We need more of creativity. Although Akikumi Amotu is good, but we need that particular match. We need someone that has been gelled with the team. We need a player that they've played together, they know one another. So to me, omitting Alex Iwobi is not fair and it's not good. I hope it won't boomerang for the coach.
All right, Bumarak, what do you think about, because it seems you have something to say as to dropping Alex Iwobi from that roster?
I think the coach Austin Eguavon is very right on dropping a certain Alex Iwobi, because when you look at his form at the club side and also the national team, he hasn't been performing so well. It's all about the hype about that he's the cousin of a certain
JJ
Okocha. So I think as they omitted a certain Iwobi, there should be an inclusion for another certain player. Like example, a certain Ibr92.5FM playing for Crystal Palace. He can also play like as an attacking midfielder, like a ball juggler that a certain Super Eagles, a certain Nigerian team needs. Or they should have even put a certain Chidera Ejuke instead of being the provisional list. It should have been in the short list that was listed for the certain Super Eagles.
Okay.
But I think he hasn't been performing so well for both the national, although he played well before he was red carded at the last AFCON, but I don't think he has been up to task in creating assists or like creating for the national team.
All right, so let's go into the full list. Calling out the full list of players invited for the provisional list, yet to be chopped down, but surely will be chopped down in a later date. For the goalkeepers, we've got Francis Uzor, Daniel Akpeyi, and Maduka Okoye. Okay, let's talk about the goalkeeping department. This is one department that really we should actually look into, because we saw how Maduka Okoye performed at the African Cup of Nations. I was unable to stop that that shot. You remember that shot that dropped and dropped from the AFCON. And we've got three goalkeepers, Daniel Akpeyi, who seems to be the most experienced amongst the trio, and Francis Uzor, 2018 World Cup, it was the one in goal for us. And we've got Maduka Okoye, who I don't know if he's been convincing so far, but let me start with you. What do you think about the goalkeeping department, quickly?
Goalkeeping department, the guys have been together, the likes of Maduka Okoye, Francis Uzor, Daniel Akpeyi, but we cannot really use the last, although during our encounter with Tunisia, we see that is that long goal that led to our elimination from the tournament was an error from the goalkeeper. But at times, we are all humans. We are even the likes of Mendy, even Alisson, all of them, they all make mistakes. So we cannot use that one to really castigate or like say that Maduka Okoye is not good. But I think it's left for the coach. But looking at it, I would still prefer either Maduka Okoye or Francis Uzor to be in goal for us because of what they do. And even of recent now, we see Maduka Okoye's form in his club, where he saved the penalty and he's doing very well. He's doing very, very well in his club. He's performing well.
But with the country, don't you think he's not really proven himself?
Yeah, you can say that, because based on the AFCON, because AFCON is a very good team for us to assess him, because of all the group stage matches, he did not really see any challenges. We were unable to test him, but only the single test that came to his side during our encounter with Tunisia, he did not really perform well. So looking at that, I think this is a final. Just as I said earlier, it will be a big risk using them. But I think the coach has believed in Maduka Okoye, and I hope that it will be up to task and it will prove the coach right.
Okay, so Mubarak, what do you have to say as to the goalkeeping department, and how about giving Akpi another chance in goal?
Danny Akpi. I think since the days of a certain Carl Ikemesis, he had that deadly disease, leukemia. I don't think Nigeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, has had a very good option when it comes to the goalkeeping department.
So you think out of the three goalkeepers we have,
I
none
think
of them?
Uzo should be better. At least we saw his performance at the 2018 World Cup. When you look at the certain Danny Akpi, I can't even forget about that match against a certain Algeria.
So
semi-final.
Algeria. So you mean that goal was the fault of Akpi?
Yeah. It
So
was a
part
free
of
kick.
those.
It wasn't standing on the line. It was standing at another side
Of the goal.
Of the goal. So I think a certain Okoye, Maduka Okoye, he should consider another job. He should consider another occasion right there. But I think maybe it should be a model, because I think that the hype about the fine boy and some guy stuff has gotten into his head. But
So
I think
that's too harsh on Okoye.
Zor should be.
He made the
better.
penalty. He stopped the penalty yesterday.
For his team. He hasn't been facing any shot for in the national team. But when you look at the first test he had, then it was an howler.
Don't you think that shot was just an unexpected shot that any goalkeeper who was actually caught unawares would have considered such?
He didn't dive for the ball. He just like put a hand.
Well, let's see how that's on.
Francis Uzo should be a better option.
Okay, now talking about the defenders, we've got Shemi Ajayi, there's Kenneth Omero, there's Leon Balogun, William Trust Ekong, Olaino, and of course there is Calvin Bassi, there is Abdullah Ishewu and Zaidu Sanusi. Okay, for the defense right now, not Mubarak, but let's talk about the defense right now. And looking at the guys we've got in defense, Leon Balogun, but news I got before the start of the show is that Truce Ekong is a huge doubt for that encounter, and it could be Chidozie Awaziem coming in to replace him. But that's not what I want to talk about. Let's look at the guys we have in defense. How would you rate our defenders?
Yeah, looking at the guys, in fact, it's a good one, because gelling together too is very important in anything. The guys, they've been together, they know one another, and they've been playing together as a team. So, but I just salute the coach for the inclusion of Calvin Bassi. That will be his first time to be in the Super Eagles shirt. But based on what you said now concerning Williams Ekong, in fact, it will be a very big miss for us if we miss Williams Ekong for the two matches, because aside the fact that he's trying, although not looking at his record in club, looking at his Watford record is not impressive, but coming down home is coordinating defense well, and is doing that leadership role, being the deputy captain. And even aside the performance, we need someone that will like talk to the boys whenever they are down, like lift their spirit. So in that particular area, we miss Ekong a lot. But my prayer, and I'm hopeful that he's fit and is able to play all the encounters. So the guys is very good. The list to me is massive. It's good because they've been together and they know one another, and that's what.
Okay, so you are talking about the familiarity now.
Familiarity, like
is there.
getting
Okay.
together. And
Let's move to the midfield quickly and look at the guys we have in the middle of the park. There is Frank Oyeka of Brentford. There is Joseph Aribo. Instead, there is Wilfred Onye Ndidi Ogenekaro Etebo making a big return. That's a Watford FC player, and we've also got Akikumi Amo. Mubarak, let's talk about the midfield.
I think the midfield, we have very nice and talented players, and we have depth right there in the mid, except for the attacking space right there. But I think it's a nice call up for a certain Akinkumi Amo playing for the best side in the Denmark League, FC Copenhagen. I think there should just be another space for an attacking midfielder. Except from, we can't always rely on a certain Joe Aribo. Injury might come up, so I think they should a nice call up for a certain Etebo. He has played for the Super Eagles. He has been playing for the Super Eagles for a very long time. He missed the AFCON due to injury. But it's nice to have a certain a table back in the midfield.
Alright, it's good to have a table back in the team. It's still Sport on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. And now we're reviewing the list released by the head coach Augustine Eguavon, the technical advisor. We talked about the goalkeeping and of course the defense, also the midfield. Now let's go to the forwards and see players in there. There's Ahmed Musa playing in Turkey for Fatih Karam Group of Turkey. There's Samuel Chukwueze for the FC Villarreal, player of Spain. Victor Osimhen of Napoli. There's Moses Simon over there in Sadiq Umar Yudi Almeria, or John Judy Gallo of Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia, Kelechi Iheanacho of Leicester City of England, Emmanuel Dennis Bonaventure of Watford, and Ademola Lookman of Leicester City. Now let's talk about the forwards, Bumi. Looking at the guys we have in front, there's Sadiq Umar in there. Sadiq Umar has been so impressive for himself, doing well with Almeria. And looking at other guys, Samuel Chukwueze lately, it's hard to say he's been impressive, but he's also one of the big names in here for Nigeria. Iheanacho has not really been impressive for some games now. Dennis Bonaventure just there for Watford. They have been dropping games lately. Victor Osimhen, the big man over there in Napoli. But let's go about the forward. Do you have any, big name missing that you actually would love to be there?
I don't think there's any big name missing. I like although some are like criticizing the inclusion of Odion Ighalo, that he's old, we don't need him in the team. But aside the fact that he's old, we need an experienced player too. There are some there are some situations that, aside being energetic, experience too speak volume. And in this kind of game, we need someone like Odion Ighalo. He's a good one for me, because and it will be a big headache for the player, for the coach rather, to select the starting attacker here, because all of them, they are in their good form. Samuel Chukwueze, Moses Simon, Victor Osimhen, Sadiq Umar, although Kelechi Iheanacho is struggling for chance in Leicester, but all of them, they are in a very good form, and the list is superb to me. I give it to the coach.
All right, Mubarak.
Yeah, no inclusion. The list is very okay when you look at the players that a certain Augustine Eguavon called up. You look at the inclusion of a certain Odion Ighalo after he left his former club side Al Shabab to go to another club side. Then it's nice to have a certain Dennis
Bonaventure.
Watford. He's a very good striker. He has been banging goals all cylinder before his team did to release him for the Super Eagles. It's nice to see the players, but it's nice to see a certain Paul Onachu in the standby list. So it's a very good. We have talented players there in the attacking side for.
Okay, we've got talented players, so let's hope that they will not, make good use of that talent, they've got to take Nigeria through the World Cup proper in Qatar. Alright, don't get it twisted. You're on to Total Sport on Ibr92.5 FM. We are still talking about the Super Eagles provisional list ahead of that crucial game against the Black Stars of Ghana. Alright, talking about players speaking this morning. Odion Ighalo is determined to help Nigeria to secure a spot at the World Cup, and of course he's saying that it will always be a great opportunity to represent Nigeria, and the ambition is now to help our country get a ticket against very tough Ghana. That is what he said in an interview, and I quote, continuing what he said, "It was a big disappointment not to play at AFCON, but that is in the past because this is another chance for me." That is coming from Odion Ighalo. So those of you who feel Ighalo shouldn't be in the team, is actually speaking, saying he wants to help Nigeria qualify for the World Cup. Alright, Truce Ekong is doubtful for that match, and Truce Ekong is a major doubt. And just to let you know what Watford manager said yesterday in a press conference, he said Truce Ekong has suffered a similar injury, hamstring, and will be out for the foreseeable future, and that's coming from the coach. It's a muscle strain, and same with Truce Ekong and Ismail Assar. So that's quite worrisome for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So we probably won't be having Truce Ekong there at that game against the Black Stars of Ghana. Alright, this Rangers player Joseph Aribo has actually admitted that his form has dipped after the 2021 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon, but is eager to defy the setbacks, starting for the Jazz Scottish Premier League home game today against Aberdeen at the Ibrox Stadium. Apart to the AFCON 2021, Aribo was impressive, scoring goals and recording assists, which gave Rangers a big boost atop the Scottish Premiership table. Now the Jazz have slipped to second place, 3 points behind Celtic. And now, Aribo is speaking. He expresses his optimism of regaining impressive form in an interview. And he said, "For me personally, I wanted to get more numbers in terms of goals and assists. I've not been at my best compared to how I was before I left for the internationals. So let's just hope he's actually going to return to his best for Rangers against Aberdeen, and most importantly for the Super Eagles against Ghana." And Ndidi also reacting to ahead of that game against Ghana. The Super Eagles midfielder Ndidi has warned the team to be careful with the way they handle the Black Stars of Ghana in the fast approaching World Cup playoff match. The Leicester City star made this known in an interview where he said the players are determined and hungry to play at the World Football Showpiece. He said, and I quote, "It will mean a lot for us to go back to the World Cup." That's what he said. But Ghana will not be easy, to be honest. We have to be careful about the whole team and not just any specific player. It will be two tough games for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That's some advice. I indeed sounding some advice. But let me come to Mubarak right now. Looking at the build up to that game, do you think we are underrating the Black Stars of Ghana because the coach has spoken saying that Nigeria deserve to get that spot ahead of Ghana? Is that true? And don't you think we are talking too much ahead of this game?
I think the coach is playing what he's trying to do is like a mind game. So I don't think that should get into the head of the coach of the Super Eagles, which a certain Austin Eguavon. Because when you look at the Black Stars of Ghana, they also have talented players right there, like a certain Thomas Partey in the midfield. They have a certain Andy Ayodo is going to miss their captain under Ayu. He's going to miss this match against that is set to come up. He's going to miss the match. But I think it's time to like play a mind game. So I don't think that should get into the head of the coach of the Super Eagles. Because when you talk about the Ghanaian side, they also have talented players, and it's not going to be it's just a stroll in the park for the Super Eagles. But I think with the inclusion of starting our striker, our first choice striker, is certain Victor Osimhen, I think that should be a boost for us. But I think we shouldn't talk too much. Let's do the talking on the pitch of play.
Okay, let's do the talking on the pitch of play. Just also Mubarak warning the team ahead of that very important game against the Black Stars of Ghana. To the spot on Impact's Business Radio 92.5 FM. Right, let's just go forward straight up and talk about games to expect today, and as well this news concerning Chelsea Football Club, because the manager Thomas Tuchel has spoken this afternoon. So we want to hear what Tuchel has to say. Not now, but let's switch gears and talk about the situation at Chelsea and review the comments coming from the owner of Chelsea. I'm talking about Roman Abramovich, saying that the club is up for sale, and truthfully they're up for sale. According to reports, within the next 10 days Chelsea would be under a new owner, so it's really getting interesting. Let's talk about that this afternoon to the spot on Ibr92.5 FM with Kenny Bamidele. Chelsea boss Masika said whoever buys the club will be lucky to have it, and added his commitment to staying with the Blues. The Stamford Bridge side Russian owner Roman Abramovich is planning to sell the club. But many have been asking what was the real reason why Abramovich decided to buy Chelsea in 2003, and just I think it should help who's going to be the new owner for Chelsea, just to know how to handle this club. But let me just play you this short piece talking about Roman Abramovich, and of course one of the reasons why he took up the role to be a Chelsea owner, plus how he's been able to win many titles with the London side.
Who Roman Arkadyevich Abramovich was when it was announced that the Russian billionaire had bought Chelsea FC in 2003. He was young, publicity shy, a governor of a faraway frozen province in Russia, and had made a lot of money in oil and gas. He gave one interview saying that he had wanted to buy a football club essentially because he was bored and wanted a new challenge. Chelsea wasn't his first choice. Pini Tsahivi, the Israeli super agent and fixer, had offered a number of options. Portsmouth FC was mentioned, as was Manchester United, but Chelsea offered something attractive. For one, the club was in London, which Abramovich had made his second home amongst the wealthy Russian elite. Chelsea was also in dire financial straits. Ken Bates had dragged the club into the modern era after buying Chelsea for £1 in the early 1980s. But by 2003, the club had a huge amount of debt and was struggling to meet a $23 million interest payment. Enter Abramovich, who, according to then Chelsea CEO Trevor Birch, concluded the deal in just 15 minutes. Abramovich came from humble beginnings. He was born in 1966 in Saratov on the Volga River into a Jewish family, but he would be an orphan at 5 and was brought up by an uncle, then his grandmother, in Moscow. He studied highway engineering, although no evidence exists that he graduated, and entered the army for his national service. When he came out in 1986, the world was changing. Mikhail Gorbachev was now trying to reform a creaking Soviet state, introducing the concepts of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, economic and political restructuring. Abramovich seized the opportunity and started a series of businesses, some successful, some not. One involved the trade in toys, especially rubber ducks, out of an apartment he shared with his first wife in Moscow. It brought him a handsome income compared with others in the Soviet Union. The collapse of the Soviet Union presented ambitious men with greater, more controversial opportunities. The exact nature of Abramovich's early fortune is unclear, but what is known is that he soon moved into trading in oil, arguably Russia's greatest natural asset. Under his watch, Chelsea has been transformed into one of the biggest clubs in the world. Since 2003, no English club has won more silverware, the 2012 Champions League being the icing on the cake. Forbes estimates that Chelsea is now the 7th most valuable club in the world, above Juventus, AC Milan and Liverpool. And next, they will move into a state-of-the-art rebuilt stadium on the site of Stamford Bridge, cementing his legacy and adulation amongst Chelsea's fans. Abramovich's reasons for buying Chelsea remain opaque, given his secretive nature and given the publicity that buying a Premier League club was bound to get him. But given that Abramovich has kept his fortune whilst many of Yeltsin's oligarchs have lost theirs, buying Chelsea perhaps made sense. Football gave him a non-threatening international profile and perhaps even insurance against it all being taken away.
Whatever Roman Abramovich wanted out of his nearly 2 decades at Chelsea, he certainly got a big pile of silverware. He also got not too many questions asked. And now as he hunts for a seller, he leaves behind him a sport totally transformed by all that cold, hard cash that he decided he doesn't want back. And that's the story of Roman Abramovich, and of course how he's really transformed Chelsea Football Club when he took charge in 2003. First, the reconfiguration of Premier League when he took over. Domestic title belonged to either Manchester United or Arsenal. With occasional interested swipes from elsewhere, Chelsea spent big immediately and finished second behind Arsenal under Claudio Ranieri, then spent bigger and won the league with Jose Mourinho, and United had to adjust to a new and expensive world of 19-point haul and the season-long consistency. Arsenal have never recovered since then. So that tells you about how it really helped Chelsea. Before then, it was Manchester United and of course Arsenal that are swiping, exchanging titles, but Abramovich changed the story entirely. Alright, Bumi, let's talk about Roman Abramovich and of course how his departure is probably going to affect Chelsea Football Club. The manager is saying it's not going to affect them, but whoever will take charge, we see it as a big opportunity. So even though we have had some business owners showing interest, the Swiss business owner Y showing interest, early Dodgers, both of them trying to build a consortium to buy Chelsea together and all of that. But what do you think about the departure of Abramovich and how it's really going to affect Chelsea Football Club?
Yeah, it's unfortunate to to know that the war between Russia and Ukraine is now coming down to affect Chelsea Football Club. It will indeed affect. It will greatly affect Chelsea because even me listening to the interview, you see right from onset, he bought Chelsea not for profit's sake. He bought Chelsea just to take away the boredom in him, and we can see that in the way he transacted business with the club, in such a way that he's not after money. Unlike Arsenal, the likes of the owner of Arsenal, Manchester United, an exception to Manchester City. You can see that the love, the passion of football is in whatsoever thing he does. And any coach he appoints, he gives such coach the full support in monetary support. Even there are some instances that I will tell the coach that see, you can cite an instance of Fernando Torres that he told the coach that see, I want this guy, and he bought it. No disregarding the amount and everything. But he will solely be missed by Chelsea Football Club because of his passion and his monetary support to coach there. So it's indeed an unfortunate thing for Chelsea.
All right, it's very unfortunate for Chelsea Football Club. So Chelsea have a game today against Burnley, and the coach Thomas Tuchel has this to say.
They do not prefer, like Callum as a wing back and like Ruben, but we need them, and we need them right now. It's the moment to step up and not to be angry or too disappointed about the last weeks. This was the moment to show true team spirit and give the very best on maybe an unfamiliar position, and they did, and that's why I was very happy about the way we won the game and how we played the game. I did not over-expect in performance-wise and a fancy game, but what we did was very, very good from the mental aspect, and it showed good character.
All right, Mubarak, Chelsea will be up against Burnley today. Don't you think Chelsea will definitely want to win that game just to celebrate Roman Abramovich and of course his era with the club?
I think when you talk about a certain Abramovich, he bought a certain Chelsea. They have been winning a lot of trophies, including the Premier League. He made Chelsea team to break the duopoly between the certain Manchester United and Arsenal when it comes to winning the Premier League title. But I think it's greatly gonna be missed at Chelsea. But I think Chelsea under a certain German coach Thomas Tuchel will want to win this game for a certain Abramovich to see a farewell to him.
Okay, so Chelsea would really want to win the game. And Chelsea opponent, Burnley, the coach for Burnley, Sean Dyche, spoke about the fitness of his players ahead of that very important game against Chelsea as they aim to escape relegation.
We're not too bad with other issues. Ben's going to be touch and go, I think, to whether he makes it, and obviously the risk and reward of that scenario. So we'll wait and see on more news tomorrow on him. It is more of a knock, which is favourable rather than a twist. But it's It's whether he makes it in time, I think, and whether it can settle down in time. I doubt it. I mean, they've still got some top players. I didn't think they overly struggled at Luton. I thought Luton gave a very good performance, and Chelsea, as they do, they find big moments because they've got big players. I think anything that does affect them, if it does affect them, is helpful. But I don't really see that they've suddenly become a bad team or anything. They've got some fine players, that's for sure. So I'm thinking they're still going to be a solid outfit as a minimum. And even in what people have described as an indifferent run, I think they've only lost 1 in 10. So, I think that's a fair reflection on the fact they're still a powerful side.
Alright, so the other game in the English Premier League, before we talk about the result of games to expect, the full fixtures of games rather, Liverpool will be up against West Ham United. That game is 5:30, and Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp spoke before that game, talking about the readiness of his players ahead of that very important game against West Ham, as they hope to keep track with Manchester City on top of the log.
He was close a couple of times here, even since I'm here. Very good. So what West Ham is doing is incredibly good, I have to say. And I'm really pleased for David. He's really a nice colleague, and after all the things in the past, after his very successful spell at Everton and being now at West Ham and being exactly himself again and organising a team in a really good way, making smart transfers, bringing really good players in, and having a really strong side, I have to say. Yeah, they against us traditionally they're more defensive orientated with counter-attacking. But if you let them play football now with this team, I'm not sure who else will be on the pitch exactly and who is fit. But with Reece and Souček, obviously.
That's Klopp talking about the West Ham United, and saying they're definitely a very strong side. And David Moyes, also the coach for West Ham, is ready for Liverpool Football Club.
Training, but he won't travel to Liverpool with us. I don't think he's quite ready, and we want to give him every opportunity to do everything he can for his family and for his country. Well, I feel helpless in as much as that we as a country, not just me as a football manager, we as a country and as a population, I think we all feel as if we can't do enough, and we're just hoping that our government and all the other governments do everything they possibly can to make this as difficult a situation as possible.
Alright guys, let's talk about the Liverpool-West Ham game. Mubarak, what is your prediction for that game, Liverpool against West Ham?
I think Liverpool should edge that one. Liverpool should edge the game. As well, look at West Ham; they are 5th on the log with 42 points. Liverpool's second, 3 points behind it are the table leaders Manchester City. So I think Liverpool are in the form of their life right now after they won the Carabao Cup against Chelsea. Look at their forward players: Sate Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, and Diogo Jota. The three of them are the most leading the charts for the top.
Yeah, 3 Liverpool players on top of this.
So I think Liverpool should edge down.
Okay, so Liverpool should edge it because they've got most of their players on top of the Golden Boot race. That is Jota, Mane, and of course Salah. So Mubarak, what is your own prediction for that game, Liverpool West Ham?
Yeah, even aside Mane, Salah, and Jota, we have the inclusion of Luis Diaz too, that is doing very, very well.
Yeah, true.
Looking at the attack form of Liverpool, it won't be an easy one for the West Ham defense, because they will seriously terrorize them. But it will be a very difficult game too for the two sides, because West Ham too, they are also in the form of their life too. They are doing very well, and they are in the race for top 4. So I think at the end of the day, Liverpool might edge out West Ham, because they have the winning mentality now, and the winning horror is in the team. But it will be a win-win for Liverpool.
All right, it's going to be a win-win situation for Liverpool Football Club. That's exactly what Bumi thinks on the program this afternoon. Let's see if we can pick a call or two. 0902-280-9257, 0902-280-9257. I'll call in right now and let's talk about the games in the English Premier League and of course other leagues in Europe. All right, Aston Villa will be up against Southampton. That game is for 3 p.m. Burnley against Chelsea Football Club. 4 p.m. rather, Burnley against Chelsea Football Club, and Newcastle against Brighton, Norwich City against Brentford, and Wolves be at home to entertain Crystal Palace. And the last game for the day will be Liverpool against West Ham United. All right, let's go and talk about some stories concerning football. Yes, let me start with this one coming from Jurgen Klopp, and it's a huge blow. I think it's a huge blow because Liverpool fans were expecting him to extend his stay as the head coach of Liverpool Football Club. Klopp has confirmed that he intends to leave Liverpool in 2024 and will consider staying if only he has that energy for the challenge. Mubarak. So it means after 2024, Steven G will be back at Liverpool as a coach.
Expectedly, a certain Steven Gerrard is going to be the manager of Liverpool one day. But I think a certain Jurgen Klopp has done so well for Liverpool after departure of starting Brendan Rodgers. Despite all the players at Liverpool then, a certain Alberto Suarez winning the Golden Boot, he wasn't able to win the English Premier League. But when you look at the certain club, he has won almost everything they said aside from the FA Cup, won the Carabao Cup, won the UEFA Champions League, FIFA Club World Cup, Premier League right here at Liverpool. So I think a certain club is gonna be missed at Liverpool. But I think a certain Steven Gerrard, when you look at his what he has done at Rangers and what he's doing at Aston Villa right now, I think he should make a good manager one day.
Okay, he should make a good manager one day. And PSG boss Pochettino wants a return to Premier League but prefers a reunion with former side Tottenham despite being targeted for the Manchester United vacancy job. So that is that. Talking about Pochettino saying that he prefers rejoining Spurs than going to Manchester United or any of those clubs.
I find it very surprising for him to say that he would prefer going to Tottenham.
But this is
looking at how he left the club. I don't see, but things changes and that's human. But I would prefer. There are some rumors even concerning him that he might be Manchester United coach, but him coming back to Tottenham, I don't see it as a good one for him. Even instead of coming to Tottenham, why can't you just stay in PSG? In Paris, where everything is there for you. So I don't see him coming to Tottenham. It's not a good thing for me. Instead of coming to Tottenham, I think United will be a very better option for him.
All right, let's talk about the fixtures of other games in the French League. Lens to be up against Brest. That game is 5 p.m. and Nice against Paris Saint-Germain. That game is 9 p.m. Nigerian time. German Bundesliga, Bayern Munich against Bayer Leverkusen. At 3:30 p.m. FC Bochum against Greuther Fürth. 3:30 p.m. Hertha Berlin against Eintracht Frankfurt. 3:30 p.m. and RB Leipzig will be at home to welcome Freiburg, while Union Berlin will travel to Wolfsburg at the Volkswagen Arena. While Stuttgart, the last game in Germany for today, will be up against Borussia Mönchengladbach. In the Italian Serie A, Udinese against Sampdoria. 3 p.m. that's the time for that game. AS Roma against Atalanta. 6 p.m. and Cagliari will be up against Lazio. Lazio definitely traveling away in that one against Cagliari. And in the Spanish La Liga, Osasuna against Villarreal, Espanyol against Getafe, Valencia against Granada, and Real Madrid against Real Sociedad. So that is that from the fixtures of games to expect in Europe this Saturday today, and of course you expect some games tomorrow. We'll be talking about all of those games tomorrow. Thank you very much for coming, Mubarak.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. 60 minutes gone like 60 seconds. We would love to stay in the studio, but we have to leave the studio right now.
All right, Bumi, thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. That's the voice of the analyst right here in the live studios. All right, join us on Monday, 7:30 a.m. for AM Sport on Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. So just take a review of the games played over the weekend, and 305 comprehensive sport package. That's your daily sport on Radio through the sports. Thank you very much for those who have been listening. Sorry we couldn't pick your call because of the time. We'll definitely pick your call next.